Beckford. My name is Carole Beckford. Welcome to season 2. Well, if you look back between May and July, we had 13 fabulous sessions, and you would have been able to see them on Instagram. Remember, you can also go to my YouTube page for some of those episodes. Well, it is still October, and we're still in COVID times, but we're starting off season 2 with a bang. Actually, no, we're coming out of the blocks. On our program today, we have a very fabulous Juliet Campbell, and she's the Jamaican Olympian, graduate of St. Jago. Well, most people would know you from St. Jago. Juliet, thanks for joining us.
Yes, thanks for having me.
Oh, listen, this is, when we're talking off-scene, you told me that your last interview, anything of this kind, was too long ago?
Yes, too long ago. I'm thinking maybe 17 years ago. Could be a little bit longer, yes.
But you're only 18, so you couldn't do an interview at one.
I wish.
You recently celebrated a fabulous birthday, but we'll save that for the last part of the session. Well, you'd notice the wonderful set we're on. We're coming to you from the Jamaica Pegasus, and of course, Strictly Roots Water, My Roots, My Water. They're back with us for season 2, so you know we're going to have a rollicking time. Juliet, you just celebrated 24 years with Puma. 24 years as a working adult. How has that been?
Yes. The 24 years actually include being a sponsored athlete. So it started while I was competing.
Right.
In the early years, Usain, and when Usain Bolt and Jermaine Gonzalez just came out, that's where I actually started my training with Puma. My job was to make sure that they go to bed at night, eat, get up for training, basically take care of all that stuff while they were with us in boarding, away from their agent, coaches, etc. So it's been that long up to today.
All right, so the transformation that you have made from being an athlete, you're probably one of the only athletes, if I'm right, that you would have represented the sport at every level.
Every single level.
Student athlete.
Yes.
College athletes.
Yes. Professional athlete.
Professional athletes.
Agent. And exec with the company.
Oh,
yes.
there.
Yes.
Oh, walk us through a little bit of that journey, how the transitions at different points were.
Being a student athlete, obviously, you know what comes with that. I enjoyed it while it lasted, but it was extremely tough for us at that time. Student athletes now, I think, has it much, much easier. Back in those days, I think I remember my last NCAA championship, I think I ran 11 races in 3 days. Because
what?
Yes, if I remember correctly, I hope I'm not telling a farce here, but it came down to, we didn't have a very large team. We had a good team, but not a large team. So if I didn't run the rounds, we did not make it to the other round.
Oh.
So hence why I had to run so many races.
What events were those? 1, 2, or 4?
I was running everything. All the sprint events, indoors from 55 meters to the 400 meters, and outdoors from the 100 to the 400 meters.
Oh, boy.
So I did all those events. After that, I started my professional career running mostly the 400 meters and the 4x4 relay. Later on, transition, I ran some 100 meters, 200 meters relays until I totally stopped running the 400 and started running the 200 at the very, very end.
Can I stop you there? Because all of Jamaica wanted you to have been running the 200 meters. Tell us why you didn't even start earlier.
I'm not so sure. I think everyone was more pushing me to run the 400 horse. She would be the best 400-meter runner ever, and they did not understand what that event did to my body. They all thought, oh, she just didn't want to do it. It was never that. I was actually never a runner. I started athletics being a long jumper, high jumper.
Oh, by the way, people, she has great legs. She just doesn't show them a lot these days, but yes.
And I remember in 1987, my friend, Georgia Harrison, she left Trinity, Holy Trinity High School. I was at Donald Quarry Secondary, and we both went to St. Jago together, and we became best friends. And she was supposed to run the 400 on this specific day, and she was crying, acting crazy, didn't want to run, but Carl Marsh knew how close you were, and he said, oh, just go and keep your friend company in the 400, just run with her. I said, okay, fine, coach. She started running, and the entire race started running too slow. And I knew I had to go all the way around this track. So I ran away and left them. And one the race is like, that's it, from today you're running 400. I'm like, what? This is not my race. Then I start crying. But I grew into it and ran it, as you know, for many, many years. And not a regret, but it's the one thing that I wish I'd listened to Harvey Glantz, who was a head coach at Auburn when I went there from Barton, was to switch from the 400 to run the 200. He kept telling me, you can run 21 seconds. And it's not that I did not believe him, but it's that Jamaica relied upon me so much to run the 400 and the 4x4. I just kept thinking about what Jamaica needed and actually not what was best for me at the time.
Oh, boy. Well,
Yeah.
listen, we're happy to still have you around because you're still looking great. By the way, she's over 50. Let me just tell you. When I tell you how much over 50, but she over 50.
Yes, most definitely.
I know, right? So,
Yeah.
but the 200 and the 400, and you,
Yeah.
you know, running all those races, the
Yeah.
collegiate schedule, how hard was that for you? You obviously did well in school, but in terms of work on the body and the books, tell us how you managed that.
The truth is, for me, junior college, yeah, we went through junior college, but when I got to Auburn, which is a major Division I university, they had all the equipment, everything that we needed to succeed at Auburn. But for me, running in D1, Division I, track and field, it was very, very hard. Because remember when we were competing on the weekends, they usually take us out of school sometimes from Wednesday. You don't get back until Sunday. How do you catch up 3 days of schoolwork? Yeah, you're with your books and you have tutors and all this, but it was when I tell you, I literally crawl on my hands and knees out of university. I dig to get out of there. It was very, very hard for me.
And back in those days, we never had internet, so you could log on.
It had just started.
Just started.
It had just started, and so it was very difficult. And years later, I went and started my master's and an honor roll, and I'm like, hold on, how this adds up to? But I guess by then you're settled and, you know, yeah.
So you were St. Diego High School.
Yeah.
Quite an experience. You're probably one of the, St. Diego remains one of the schools that have won both boys and girls champs as a co-ed institution.
Yes.
Tell us about your time there.
I love the St. Diego, you know, Karl March, God bless his soul, he's no longer with us, but he did his best. He made us happy. He loved us. He was a father figure to us. He took very good care of us. He made us felt as if we were champions, even when Virtek kicked our butt for all those years. We kept coming second.
Hello to Beth McDonald.
Second, yeah. But I enjoyed going to school at St. Diego. It was a very good period in my life.
Tell me about some of the great experiences. Who was the person you enjoyed beating most when you were at champs?
You know, there was this one race that stood out. It was this 4x4 that we did not stand or should not have won. And I actually think it was 88 against Veer Technical. The young lady's last name is Brown. And she took the baton, and it was impossible for me to catch her. I should not have caught her. When I got the baton, I think she may have already finished the curve to go on the backstretch, and I caught her, and we won that race, and that was one of the good experience running at champs. But at St. Diego, like I said, you know, Mr. Edwards, our principal, he was really, really...
Otherwise known as Pipey. So for the Diego
sir.
people who are watching,
Yes.
that was Pipey.
Listen.
I'm from Linstead, so I know of that Diego. Yeah, I know the
And
names.
he walks a straight line with Pipey. He doesn't play. He walks around with his cane. But what was good is that you smelled him before you see him. So
Exactly.
when you smell the pipe, you know he was near. Whatever it is that you're doing, which was not the right thing to do, straighten up or else.
Or else.
Or else.
Absolutely.
Or else, yeah. I remember there's a river at Rayacobble that runs behind St. Diego High School. We had to do mileage, so we had to go around on Monk Street, go all the way around from the bridge to run up in St. Diego Heights. And Mr. March would be behind us in his red Honda. And what we used to do when coach wasn't paying attention, we used to run out the gate and, oh God, we were so silly as kids, are not smart. We used to hold hands, form this chain, and walk across this river to get to we did, so we could cut out all that mileage. And he'd be like, where are the girls? He called, we're like, Coach, we're so tired. And that's how we used to get walking across this river. I remember Rivoli, we used to buy quarter bread and cheese and bully beef from across the wall. And actually the community at that time used to support the track team. They will come and make juice for us, and they literally sit there in the stands and feed us. So it was fun times at St. Diego.
Yeah, man. And those days we never had all these development meets.
No, we did not. We did not.
So how I mean, maybe we had, what, 3 or 4? We had them at the bauxite companies for sure.
Yeah, we used to go to Kirkvine for sure. GC, I think we may have had one. I remember going to GC Foster.
Maybe.
Maybe back. I don't remember. It's so long ago. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. All right. So Barton, by the way, is in
Yeah.
Kansas. And we say
Yes.
hello to the people from Kansas who are
Great
tuned in.
Bend, Kansas.
Yes. Tell us about the Kansas experience. That's
Oh, my
Midwest.
God.
That's
Yes, it's very far. I remember myself, Cheryl, and Philip, she's now Dr. Robinson. Both of us left together same time to go away to college, and we went up in the dead of winter. Remember, before that, we had been to Penn Relays. I don't remember us seeing snow. And we came out, he told our parents make sure they have long sleeves, something warm to wear because it's going to be cold. Me and Sherland came out and walked out. Coach was there to pick us up and we were like, what is going on? Like it's super cool. We literally turned back and went back to the gate where we got off the plane. We're going home. We're not coming. They had to go and get coats for us to come home. It was freezing cold in Kansas. Very, very cold.
any outstanding experience outside of school? What was it like to be in Kansas at that time?
At Kansas, we had to learn to get along. There was nothing there. Our college was practically literally in a wheat field.
Oh, dear.
Yeah, there was nothing to do. It was literally school training on rare occasions. Outside of competition time, we look forward to going to competition because we got to leave campus. I remember coach would load us up in the bus and drive us from Kansas to Texas relays to run with these. We were really, really good. At Barton, it was myself, Cheryl and Phillips, Beverly McDonald, and Dion Rose. We were the quartet when it comes to 4x1. We were these little junior girls. No one beat us. We were awesome. And Coach ever would take us to University of Texas and to University of Kansas and all these other places we would go for competition. But outside of that, there was literally nothing.
So you never got to see the Kansas City Chiefs?
Oh, God, we didn't even know anything. We didn't pay attention to any of that kind of stuff in college. We knew nothing about that kind of stuff.
Oh, dear.
I think back in those days, like 88, 89, when I left Barton to go to Auburn, I started paying attention to a little bit of NBA basketball with Michael Jordan, Kerr, Pippen, that era. And after that, it was, yeah.
Oh, were you one of those girls in school who were just, you trained and you came back to books and you slept?
Yeah, exactly.
You seemed that type
that
of
was it.
compartmentalized kind of person.
I wasn't sociable. Even at Auburn, I wasn't. People used to ask Cheryl, because we were close, what's wrong with her? Is she okay? It was nothing. I just had nothing to say. I just, sat there.
So you just got through life, so Juliet?
I literally just got through life like that. Isn't that boring? It really was.
But at Auburn, you kind of opened up a little.
I had to because Coach Glenn's, I was captain of the team. So I was forced to interact with my teammates and stuff will happen. And it's like, why are you talking to me? Juliet is the captain. Go and talk to Juliet. So I had to interact with my teammates. And so I guess that brought me up my shell a little bit. And hey, here I am. I guess I can't shut up now.
All right. So if you just joined us, you'd have just missed the first quarter of the show. And this is straightforward. We're coming to you from the Jamaica Pegasus, and we're brought to you by Strictly Roots Water. Our very special guest, Jamaican Olympian, track and field legend, model, superstar, agent, manager, Juliet Campbell. I know St. Jacob believe that they own her, right? She went to Donald Quarry. She's from out east, by the way.
Yes.
Live near water, but can't swim.
Jesus.
Which is so typical.
Yes, my mother could not swim, so I don't know if my brother has learned, but I know the 4 eldest kids, we did not learn because my mother would not allow us to go in the ocean. She could not swim, she could not save us, so you better not. You could look at it, don't go in.
So you never feel curious? You weren't one of those
No,
kids?
so my mother tell me, say, fish not come on dry land. You want to go in the water. She said, don't make it past your knee. And that was it. We listened, don't pass your knee, go past your knee, you back up. Yes.
All right. Okay. And now that beautiful black sand out at Bull Bay.
Yes, exactly. Well, you know, the crazy thing is when we got older, though, especially when my mom wasn't at home, boy, she's going to watch this and kill me. We used to get on these big truck tubes We cannot swim in, and we used to get in these tubes and go so far. You could hardly see us. Go out on the tubes, and we'll use our hands and paddle back in, but we never get off the tube.
Oh.
And the waves will come in and bounce, so you hang on at the tube, so it slides you like that. And you come in, and so they get off and run. When you go in the water? No, mommy, we never go in the water.
So how you dry off
No,
and...
because she's not home. She's at work. So by the time she come, we already bathe and change and clothes dry a long time and put up and all them things.
Salt water.
Salt water. Yes. Yeah.
Oh, boy. All right, so let me take you back. You leave from Harborview to go to Spanish Town.
Yes.
I know that must have been a little transition.
Challenging in the beginning. I went to Harborview Primary School. I left and went to Donald Quarry Secondary School at that time. It was not yet high school. And I was at Donald Quarry for a brief, maybe a year, maybe 2 years. It was very short. And then I left and went to St. Jago High School. Karl March recruited me from Donald Quarry to St. Jago High School. And so that's how I ended up in Spanish Town. And the first part of it, at 5:30 in the morning, I would have been on the road heading to school because I had to take 2 buses to school, one from Bull Bay to downtown. At that time, I got the last end of the train running from downtown to Spanish Town.
Oh, nice.
Yes, I used to take the
so
train.
So you're still legitimately over 50 because...
yeah.
It's a long time people don't take train in Jamaica.
Exactly. So
oh
I had
God.
that experience of taking a train from downtown to the square in Spanish Town, came off and walked to school.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
That must have been good.
Oh, it was awesome. I used to stand at the window, man, and my uniform was blowing in the wind. It was awesome. Yes.
Did you ever live in Spanish Town or you traveled?
I traveled for maybe a year, and after that, Karl Marsh took me, and I boarded in Spanish Town for a brief period of time, and after that, he took me and Michelle Freeman, because, he had lots of properties and farming and houses and stuff, and he took myself and Michelle Freeman, and we lived in Hold Harbor with him and his family.
Oh, nice.
And he took care of us, yeah.
Yeah, Michelle.
Yeah.
Wow, Michelle, the great hurdler.
Yes, she was.
And she's now an established track and field coach.
Yes.
Oh, we remember. Michelle ran so hard, and she also hit the hurdles hard.
She was powerful, very powerful.
Extremely powerful.
Yes.
One of the strongest at St. James at
ma'am.
the time. All right, so when you're going to high school, you left from secondary to high school, what were some of the things you wanted to do outside of track and field?
To be honest, I wasn't thinking of anything. At that time, I'm 15, 16 years old. You talk to persons who knew me then compared to now. I literally had these big, long, thick plots. If I'm not training or in class, I'm sitting under this tree we had at school, and I would read books. I talk to no one. We had no plan. I had no plan as if I wanted to be a teacher or a doctor or none of that. I just knew that I could run, and I am going to run. It's after high school when I got to college and I started thinking about other things, what it is that I want to do with my life. And I remember being at St. Jago and went to the stadium one day for training, and Jackie Pusey came to the stadium. And
you're dating yourself, you're telling you.
I know. And she was talking to us about the opportunities that track and field athletics can afford us.
Right.
It takes you out of poverty, you get an education, all this, and she's telling us all these things, you get to make money, and I'm like, what? And that was it. I decided that I was going to be a track and field athlete. I went and talked to Coach, how do I get to go to foreign like Jackie Pusey? And when he says you have to do your schoolwork so you can get scholarship, and boy, let me tell you, I tried and I tried and I tried. Luckily, it was a little bit easier then to get scholarship than it is now. And I got the scholarship. I went away, and my focus while I was away running was to make sure that I did well, because I had 6 siblings and my mother behind. And it literally became my focus. That was my only focus, making sure that my mother and my brothers and sisters were okay.
So the Auburn experience, though. Auburn has a rich history of, sports in general.
Yes, we do.
Right. How did you interact with the other athletes generally?
We had a few I had a few friends in basketball. And I wouldn't even call them friends. We would be more associates. I was really antisocial, Carole. I didn't talk to people much at all. Outside of my teammates, I literally would go to class, go to training, and go home. Remember, at Auburn, I was under a lot of pressure
Pressure,
at
yes.
Auburn because myself, Cheryl, and Phillips were the two main athletes, especially me. I had no time to waste.
Mm.
I literally had no time to waste. If I wasn't training, I was in class or I was at home.
So Juliet, no man, tell
It's
me
true.
if me
It
call
is.
anybody from Auburn, them not
Yeah,
no little secret for you.
no little secret. None.
No, sir, me not believe that.
It's true. It's
No.
true. I never dated in college like that at all.
All right.
It's true. It is
Okay,
true.
that's for the last segment of the
It's
show.
true.
We're gonna go
It's
back to
true.
that.
It is literally true. I didn't get involved in all that. It was me and Cheryl Ann.
So what do you do for fun?
Watch TV. It's true. I literally did nothing. Nothing. It's true.
No, that's unbelievable.
It is true. I'm
Oh
telling the
my
truth.
God.
It is. And I'm not unique. You'll be surprised. I'm not unique. I'm
No
not.
man, but no, all right. So fine, we're talking about youngsters. You come from Jamaica. Well, you
I
see,
mean,
you had the Kansas experience. So
Yes.
maybe
Yeah.
that kind of help you a little
But
bit.
I mean, we had, for example, coach would say, all right, you guys are off for the next month or whatever. Of course, if they have parties, I'll go to party. We used-
You're a big dancer.
Yes, I dance very well. I can dance. There was this place up in the woods called Mr. D's or the Armory where they would have these parties. And of course, most definitely, I would go and dance. And trust me, we threw down. Back in those days, 91, 92, 93, they remember the Jamaican girls at Auburn, all these football players, basketball players, me, Sherilyn, and all the other persons who had Caribbean affiliations. Oh, trust, we danced.
She probably, you never know. She probably can drop a leg tonight. I joke, maybe. We not take her on. Yeah, but Alabama in the 90s, early 90s.
Yeah.
Any mishaps?
No. I'm asked that question quite often. I never had any problem in Auburn. They treated me well. I had no problems there.
Good looking, tall, dark, handsome black girl.
Chris Darin says that's the reason why he always tell me that, because he always talk about his experience because he went to school in that area. And I said,
know.
but I never had that problem. And he says, Juliet, come on, they're not going to give you any problem. I
know.
Yeah, I never had problems at Auburn. I was respected, treated well. They treated me kind, and I have nothing bad to say about my experience.
Do you
there
go
in
back?
terms
Do
of
you go
that.
back to Auburn?
I actually, and this is, you're going to believe what I said. Do you know that I just moved from Auburn last January? Yeah, I bought my house there and I stayed in Auburn and I got ill. I had some stomach problems. I don't know where I ate, wherever I went. That's what the internist told me. And to get over that, and I'm at home in Auburn by myself in my house. Of course, all my family's here. I'm the only one that's there.
Right.
And I'm like, this is ridiculous. What the heck are you doing here? I had no idea where in Georgia I was going. I moved to Georgia. I packed my things up, and I have two close Jamaican friends. One of them is Mark Thompson. He actually ran 93 World Championship 400-meter hurdles for us, for Jamaica. And I have another friend who's from St. Elizabeth who ran for Auburn. His name is Kesna Al Bennett. Anything I want, these two guys, I'm telling you, I call them. And I literally called them. I said, listen, I need to move closer where you guys are. I need to be hanging around my friends. He says, Juliet, pack your stuff and I'll come and get you. And that's literally what happened. I packed my stuff and moved to Georgia last January.
Okay. All right. So that sound you just heard, because we were on set, all these wonderful things happen on location. We're still at the Jamaica Pegasus. That wasn't that was the alarm for us to run out of the building. No, I joke. We're joking. And, we're still talking with Juliet Campbell. Fabulous personality. I'm trying to convince her to have a change of career, 24 years as being a sport agent. But you will see more about that, right, Juliet?
Yes, you will.
It's going to happen.
It's gonna
happen before
It's gonna
2020 ends.
happen.
Even if she just start a little thing.
It's going to happen.
All right. So Auburn done. You come back and you run for Jamaica and you go
Yes.
all over the place.
Yes.
Indoors, outdoors. Tell me about that
Yes.
life now.
So that was the hard part, and what I try to tell whichever athlete that will listen to me now. Everybody wants to go and be a professional athlete, and I'm going pro and I'm going to Europe. It's not a cakewalk. It is hard work. It is focus. It is preparation. It's running the circuit is not. It's not easy.
Because you
It is
obviously gave
not
up a lot.
easy.
I mean, when we look back at your college life, you were
Yes.
just
Yeah,
focused.
the sacrifice is enormous in order to do it and do it well. The season starts for most of us early January or even late December to March, April, you finish indoors. April, May, you're training. May, June, you start competing again all the way back to September. And when you're not competing, you're preparing to compete. So it is difficult. To make money, you always have to perform at an optimal level. And, there's a lot that comes with being a professional athlete. You have bills, you have taxes, you have basically, you're the corporation.
You're the corporation,
You are
right?
the corporation, and you don't perform. Yeah. There's contracts, the shoe company. There's many, many things that comes with being a professional athlete. Your core team, having the right coach, having the right agent, the right management, and all of that is getting it right. And always things are smoothed. I was an agent. Believe me, it is not easy. It's a very hard job. I think I was good, but I'm sure that I could have been much better. It's always a work in progress.
So let me ask you. So you made the choice. You're still doing 1-2-4, right?
Yes.
At the indoors, you ran the shorter races, obviously,
Yes.
and then you went outdoors. So generally, your year is 9 months, 10 months.
Yes. And I had a coach who was Polish, Slavomir Novak, and he convinced me to run the 200 meters indoors. And it's not something that I really liked doing, but I got comfortable doing it, and I was very, very good at it. Actually, it's the only gold medal I've won. I won the World Championships.
I think one of the pictures we used
running
in
the
the promo was
200
your
indoors. Yeah. I ran the 55 meters, 200 indoors, and some mile relays indoors.
By the way, the promo pictures, you don't look any different. No.
Except for my hair has grown a lot, which is what confuses a lot of persons. They'll see me in the street and they're not sure, is it she or is it not she? And,
No, but you look the same, if I may say so myself, because I've known you for too long.
Time, yeah. Yeah.
All right, so what has been your best agent experience in having made a successful transition?
Yes.
You know, you have represented at every level, but
I've had quite a few. I'm no longer an agent.
right.
But it just made me feel good sitting there in Berlin watching Melaine Walker winning the hurdles.
Another St. Jago athlete.
Exactly. Josanne Lucas from Trinidad coming third. They were both my clients. Watching Melaine winning the Olympic medal, watching Answer Parchment winning his medals. It's all this experience that I know I had contribution in them doing well. Really, really makes me feel good. And it's not even about the money, because as you know, it's very few athletes that is not struggling, or Jamaican athletes I can speak of that's not struggling, because the fans don't know that many of them are literally living from paycheck to paycheck. It's just a few who really have money to sustain themselves if they're not running.
It's a good way to tell you that we're halftime into the track and field show. Haha. Yeah. You see, we're mixing up the things.
Yes.
So remember, we're coming to you from the Pegasus, and we're brought to you by Strictly Roots Water, My Roots, My Water. Jamaica Pegasus has some fantastic offers now on during this COVID time. So remember, you can co-work at the Pegasus. They have rooms that they have transformed, and you can pay as low as 4,500 Jamaican dollars for 4 hours, and you can spend a week. There's also this fabulous, it's called a workation. That's a little bit above my pay grade, but it's over $3,000 for a month, and you get everything free. Well, free, yes, but access after you pay the $3,000. You run at Emancipation Park, you play tennis, you swim, you go to the blend bar with the greatest bartenders in the world, of course, and you get to go to the cafe. So we're still back with you with Juliet Campbell, and she was telling us about her agent experience.
Yes, and so those are the experiences, watching these athletes that I manage do well. Those are the ones that really makes all the stress and all the headache worthwhile. And another big one was Maurice Smith.
Yes, who is now a entertainer.
Listen, he's an entertainer and one of the biggest fitness trainers in Baltimore, like celebrity fitness trainer.
Yeah, I see that.
Baltimore,
I see his stuff online.
Maurice is actually the one who got me into management, like literally kicking and screaming, because he finished school and no one wanted to take him up.
Because he was too talented.
And not only that,
Not talented, but he did a lot of things well.
he didn't have confidence. The agents did not have confidence in him, in his ability to succeed as a decathlete. I don't know why. And I remember I said, I'll find you an agent. And I kept calling agents, and they're like, oh, Juliet, maybe next season, maybe they just call me back. And he's like, Jules, just help me. Why don't you do it? I said, Maurice, I had just literally retired and decided I am going to
take a break.
For an entire year. I'm doing nothing.
I remember Sandy told me, Sandy Richards said, you can't find Juliet, she had a break.
Exactly. I'm like, I'm going to get up when I want to, eat when I want to. I'm not working out. I'm doing, like, leave me alone. I'm doing nothing. And he's like, Jules, you have to help me. I said, okay, that's it. I'll help you for the indoor season. They're trying to, he's training and I'm doing stuff and I'm doing stuff. The outdoor season, I said, Maurice, I find 2 agents. You need to call them and talk to them. He's like, yeah, Jules, I call them. I don't think I like them personality. We're not going to work. Not knowing that this boy, he's tricking me. Did not call agents and I believe him because he wanted me to continue do it. And next thing I look up, it was 8-9 years.
Yeah.
Me and Maurice Smith.
Yeah, man. He really did well.
Yeah, he did. And, he relied on me a lot. And I think I did an awesome job. I mean, it got to the point where I'll go to meets with Maurice. I have nothing to do but just presence, just to stand there and to help him. What do you need? Are you okay? Just to make him comfortable. His coach is there with him. And I literally had to stand there. And Maurice would say, Jules, all right, you see, if I move, I better stand there. So when him look, him see me standing there. Yes.
Because you have to play. Right, you have to play those roles. Now he's doing very well. Hi, Maurice.
Very well.
I know he's watching.
I'm sure he is.
Yeah. All right. So you gave up the agent work.
I had to because my responsibilities at Puma became more, and I could not effectively be a manager and do my Puma job. And not only that, I had kind of gotten worn out with being a manager and knew that I could help the athletes more, being more involved and in my company, in Puma, and so that's what happened.
All right, where you started out in Puma?
Oh my God, I literally, like I said, started out...
Meaning after you came off the track, that is?
Yeah, after I came off the track, I was literally grassroots. I was a consultant for Puma for many, many, many years. I was a consultant for Puma, not doing much of anything different from what I'm doing now. It's just that now it's at a different level. Mm-hmm. But I was literally a consultant for Puma many, many years, mostly here for Jamaica. And that's what I was doing.
Yeah, I don't want to put you on the spot. Yes. How many schools Puma?
Now we sponsor all the major high schools in Jamaica formally, and we also do a lot for other schools that are not on paper. But we take care of all the major high schools in Jamaica currently. We do a lot of stuff here. We contribute a lot to track and field here in Jamaica and sports in general. Mm-hmm. It's a mutual beneficial relationship.
I am sure.
Jamaica is our flagship country when it comes to performance. You see that all that we do in other countries, especially the Caribbean, is literally based off what we push here in Jamaica because...
I know, because I saw a thing last week, I think, 50 most branded, the 50 top sports marketing brands, and Puma is at number 9.
Yeah.
That has been an incredible push over the last decade or so.
It is, and we have done well here. One exec from another shoe company once told me that, man, it will take millions of dollars and years to desensitize people's brain from Jamaica and Puma. It's like, he literally said that.
I know.
And so, but we do a lot. We sponsor a lot here. We sponsor a lot of athletes. We sponsor, like I said, all the major high schools and other things that is not, we do a lot here.
Outside of the usual performances, though, what really tugs at your heart in terms of what Puma does? The help that we provide the schools.
people don't understand that most of the kids that are on track team, and I can talk for the schools that we're associated with, a lot of these kids at these schools, the school does come under major pressure to make sure that these kids are okay, for them to have meals, for them to get home safe, for them to even have money to pay transportation to get home. And so that's where we come in and we help with a lot of that stuff. I've talked to coaches where if these athletes don't eat at school, they don't eat.
No, which, so I'm hearing about this face-to-face thing going on now with schools and so on. And I know I was saying to a friend yesterday that some of the youngsters who go to school, they're like home.
Exactly.
Because they eat 3 meals a day.
Yeah.
They get to work out.
Yes.
Even the ones who don't compete, support. Yeah. They're teams.
Yeah. And they get fed, which is important.
Yes.
They get fed, and so that is one of the things where we help with a lot with the schools here in Jamaica. A lot of kids here really do have it hard. From my observation, talking to the coaches, what I've seen, it's difficult, and we do a lot, but we definitely can't do it by ourselves.
Oh, absolutely.
And so we need others, companies, corporations to get in and help, because it is needed.
Not to let out any of Puma's secret, but would they do any kind of manufacturing here in Jamaica?
I am not sure. That's kind of beyond my pay grade, above this. I don't know.
Hi, Pascal. How you doing?
I don't know. But, I work for a very, very good company. And I'm not saying that because I'm with them. They actually genuinely are. They care about people. They look out for people. Jamaican athletes are very, very special to them. Puma goes above and beyond.
We know this.
For Jamaican athletes.
And they have steadily grown.
And they have, of course, Pascal and Miriam is very, very known here. Eric Lilo, that's, some of my colleagues outside of our support, what you would say, marketing, legal, whatever, the core team for track and field, some may think it's this huge, vast staff. It's not. It's literally, 7 of us, 6, 7 of us? Pascal, Nicholas, Miriam, Eric, Dario, and myself, 6 of us.
Go there.
Yeah.
I've met a few people on the golf team.
Yeah.
Well, thanks to you.
Yeah.
And I see you doing a lot of football these days.
Yes, we are, among other things. So, yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
All right. So, man. So we're talking to Juliet Campbell. We're coming up to the almost to the end of the third segment. And listen, I don't even ask her. We're going to find out what she likes to eat. She's becoming a little more sociable these days.
Yes, I am.
She's going out a little more, despite the COVID times, although she never get to celebrate our momentous occasion.
No.
But we're going to dig into her life just a little bit more. Juliet, did you once receive you did some modeling a little bit?
I did. Puma had me doing a lot of stuff. I think it's 2002, 2003. I was in all... Is it 88 Lady Foot Locker stores in the U.S. for 2 or 3 years? It's a long time ago, Carole. I don't remember the date, but it's a long time ago, so I did that.
By the way, she studied business education, which means she still have time to become a school principal.
No, I don't.
So don't make you foolish.
No,
she actually knows these things, all right?
And then in 2001, I did Black Men magazine in the U.S., where I had inside of the cover page and in the middle, so I had a fold there. But outside of that, doing that and athletics was a little bit tricky.
They have material models now, so.
I know. Call Dwight from, you know to reach
You
him.
want an agent? I could.
Yes, of course. I actually know Dwight, yeah.
Oh, yes. No, but seriously though, is there anything else you would have done outside of track and field?
No.
No?
No, I never thought of another career. I just know that I was... One way or another, I was getting out of the ghetto of Shooters Hill. That's where I grew up, out in Bull Bay, 7 miles. I knew that there was a life better than living there at that time, especially. And I'm thankful for Mr. Marsh. I'm thankful for Larry Foster, because he contributed a lot in not just me, but a lot of young women who has done well.
Larry Foster will go on like him know more music than everybody else in the world. But yes.
And so for persons as such, and yeah.
Oh dear. Um, yeah, that's an interesting time. So you would have left Jamaica just before Gilbert, because I want to put that
Yes.
into context.
Yes.
When you were away and heard about the
Yes.
devastation,
Yes.
what went through your mind?
I was brokenhearted. There's nothing I could have done about it at the time. I heard about my family or house top blew off, and at that time, listen, we were living in real poverty. At that time, it was my grandma, my aunts, my uncles, plus my mom, my siblings. We were living in real poverty. So it affected us greatly, but yeah, that
How
too
soon after
passed.
that you came home?
I didn't come home till a year and a half after. We didn't have money to come home. We didn't have money to come home, so we stayed.
Wow.
Yeah.
But I mean, well, obviously you'd have, turned the corner,
Yes, I did.
essentially, and would have provided. All
Yes,
right.
I did.
We're going to talk a little bit about one or two disappointments you'd have had. You
Yeah.
competed for Jamaica.
Yeah.
Well, you attempted to make the team in
88.
88 to go
And
to Seoul.
they didn't carry me, and I ball. Well, for my friends, yeah, I cried. So they could have my friends abroad who wish to understand. Juliet, remember we were listening. So yes, and I cried, and I went to my Mommy, I came sixth, and they didn't care me. She says, well, make sure next time they don't have a choice. And I was never left off another team.
Yeah, between 88 and what, 2004?
Yeah, 3, 4,
Three.
yeah. Well, I didn't run because I had some ankle issue the last Olympics before I retired, but yeah.
1988 was a special year. Flojo came here for the mutual games. That was the year when Grace Jackson, she ran, 21.76
Yes.
and came second.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, that record needs
Wow.
to go.
Yeah.
Needs to go.
That,
at
was,
10:34.
that was flying.
Yeah,
She
because
was-
Shelly's flying at 10:70 something.
Yeah, that was really, really fast back then. But, yep.
Yeah. All right. Quickly, Juliet, what you love to eat?
I'm a seafood, veggie kind of girl. I like seafood and I like veggies.
Oh, that's why you keep so good.
And it's not by...
That's why she looks so great.
It's
For
not
all her
because-
foreign friends who are watching.
It's not because I have to. I just prefer to eat that. My favorite meal is salmon and spinach.
Oh, dear.
Yeah.
I don't know why my executive producer hand is up in the air because so no little
Yeah.
pork or no little.
Oh, my God. The last time I had pork, I was 8 years old.
All right. What kind of music you like to listen to? Just come off for the
All
food
right.
argument.
I am old school slow jams. Teddy P, Anita Howard, Marvin Gaye. That's and then I like dancehall.
I know.
I like jazz. I love jazz when I'm chilling, trying to get my mind clear, a glass of wine, a candle, and darkness, and some jazz music. I'm good.
Oh, dear. We got to
Yeah.
get you out into the light, though. All right. So, Juliet, we kind of never get into the breaks that you've taken.
Yeah.
What do you do for fun? She takes a deep breath.
The honest truth is, Carole, I don't. What COVID has taught me is that my life is consumed with sports and my job.
No, let track and field.
Yeah.
Because you know what sports?
Yeah, track and field.
Okay.
Track and field. Track and field. And that's the honest truth. And it almost put me in depression because I literally have nothing else to do. I'll call Cheryl and Phillips on the phone and I'll talk to her. I'll call Georgia Harrison and I'll talk to them. And the good thing about this is that I am now home with my family, so there's always something to do with my nieces and nephews and my mom. Yes,
That you
and
only
so-
used to pop in and pop out.
Yes, and some home and everyone is there, and so. But I literally, so no, I realize that listen, I like shopping, but I don't need anything.
You're right. Yeah.
You know, I literally don't need anything. When I travel, I go to these exotic places, but I go for work. By the time I'm finished working, I'm so tired, I don't want to do anything. I want to come home.
All right. 2 quick questions before we wrap. The most exotic place you've been outside of Jamaica?
I would say my favorite place that I've been is Australia.
Oh.
I love Australia. It literally is what you see. And, you know, those who haven't been there should go to Australia. Australia is very, very nice.
All right. If there was to be a movie on your life, who would you want to play you?
Oh, my God. All right. You remember this chick at Girlfriends? I can't remember her name, though. Oh, my gosh.
Girlfriends. What's that?
It's with Girlfriends. Diana Ross's daughter, what's her name?
Oh,
Tracy
Tracy.
Ellis Ross.
Oh,
That queen, remember that movie Girlfriend?
Oh.
What's that little stuff, the one that always behaves so, yes. Her personality somewhat reminds me of me.
okay. All right. Well, all right. So, yes.
Yeah.
All right. So it's time to go, guys. And you would have just heard an interesting interview. First time in 17 years, Juliet is sitting down
Yes.
for a 1 hour TV program. Juliet, it's been my extreme pleasure to have you on the opening of season 2 of Straightforward. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me, and I hope that we got all the topics covered.
Yeah, man. But if not, we'll bring you back.
Exactly.
All right. So you just heard Straightforward. We're coming to you from the Jamaica Pegasus. It was brought to you by Strictly Roots Water. My Roots, My Water. Join us again on Tuesday when we'll have another guest. Remember, we really weren't. We were on Thursdays, and we have now changed to Tuesdays because we're not fighting with the NFL too. Until next time, join us again on Straightforward. Always a step ahead. Oh, I forgot. I should have said thanks to my technical team. Ryan Bailey, Ryan Essen, Certain Morris, and Andre Helps. And thank you to the makeup. Juliet's makeup was done by her family member, and I did mine today because my makeup person is out on maternity leave. Thank you so very much for joining us. Until next time, take care.
Actually, my makeup was done by Denzi in care of Riston Anna Tracy. Yes.
Yes.
So, yes,
Yes.
thank you.
All right.